Good afternoon. Welcome to XOTIC PC's review of Sager's new NP8130. This is a new series in their 8000 series. We just did a review on the 8150. This would probably be considered the little brother to that one. This is a little bit different. It's a little less expensive, and component-wise, graphically it's a little bit different. It has the GTX 460 instead of the 485M. It does have a matte finish 1920 by 1080 screen, which we'll get to talk about here a little bit later. The screen itself is very beautiful, which has prompted us a little bit to explore doing modifications on the 8150 and some of the other 15.6 inch and 17 inch models out there. That has actually led us to adding matte finish screens on all of our models that can take it. And even on some of the models which do not have full high-def screens, we'll start to offering it as an upgrade to those as well. So be looking on our website for that particular information, and we'll talk about the screen on this one here in a little bit. As you can see, the looks on this one are a little bit different. It's not quite as fancy looking, if you will. The finish here is not that rubberized finish. It's just kind of a matte plastic. As you get close to it, it doesn't quite show the dust as much as the rubberized does, but it is in comparison to glossy models. Not quite as can't keep it quite as clean, I guess you could say. I'm gonna get a little closer here and get just a feel on kind of how it looks and just overall the feeling of the computer. Get in close here. You see the speaker placement. It's your standard chiclet keyboard with the modified WASD keys with the up, down, left, right, and your standard 3-row 10-key keypad. The touchpad on this one I actually like in comparison to the 8150. It's still that matte finish. It's a continuation of the way the rest feels. It's big. It's easy to maneuver, and your left and right click buttons are responsive. This particular model also uses your THX Studio Pro. Its speakers are much better than average. It's nice to start seeing Clevo / Sager include a better speaker package than they previously did. This particular computer does utilize Intel's new Sandy Bridge chip, which of course is the reason for the revision. Sagers have had a kind of a long stretch of not being revised, so it's nice to see some new models out here, especially one in this price point. It really can be configured at a quite a good performance for price ratio. This particular model was sent to us much less powerful, if you will, than your 8150 that the other review is done on. Of course, this did include 8 gigs of RAM on here, a standard mechanical hard drive, and we did put an Intel to the Sandy Bridge, the 2630 in this particular unit. So it's using technically the entry-level i7 Sandy Bridge chip. We'll take a look on the back here. As you can see, still continues that matte finish plastic. It's not the rubberized, not glossy. Just a real, basic looking, really. I kind of like the look of it. Honestly, it's not flashy, and if someone's going for a high performance business machine or doesn't want the flashier looking laptops, this is definitely a good one to think about. That's for sure. Its performance is good. The performance of this model graphically is pretty good. We've seen a kind of a nice improvement on the GTX 460M as time has gone on through the different models that have used it. We've seen different driver revisions, as some of you probably know, or maybe you don't. NVIDIA really isn't supporting the Asus version or the Clevo version of the GTX 460. You can do some modifications of the I&I to make it work, and for some people it works just fine, but others have had issues just getting it to run stable. 260.99 was kind of the first good driver that was out, but a lot of the machines couldn't use it. So You know, we had 261.14 from ASUS, which improved performance noticeably. This particular model uses 265.77. It's a driver that I have not seen available yet anywhere, and it shows a tangible improvement on graphics. We've seen scores, at least initially, the 460M with the standard i7 was doing somewhere around 74, 7500. 3D Mark, once 261.14 came out, we started seeing around the 82, 8300 point on Vantage, which is a nice improvement. However, this particular model scores an 8800, so I think that you're starting to see the drivers really kind of come into their own. The manufacturers are improving the drivers for their customers, and we're seeing the improvements for free, which is just great to have a graphics card and increase its performance by that much without having to put a new graphics card in there. This particular model does have the 2630 Sandy Bridge chip in it, 8 gigs of RAM, a standard hard drive, standard mechanical drive, 7200 RPM. And this particular model is more of what you would say a good kind of bang for the buck model would be if someone was looking for just a really great machine that's extremely upgradable, but yet at a more modest price. The 8 gigs of RAM is nice on these now too, because just like the 8150, you've actually got 4 DIMMs for that. So 2 of them, just like the last one, under the keyboard, the other 2 under the access panel. The keyboard, we did make a video on how to remove it. It is tricky. It's kind of hidden. You have to take the bottom panel off, and there's just a little hole that you can push out this grill. The grill will pop up, and then you've got just 5 screws that hold this keyboard down, and you remove it, and then you've got RAM access. So it's really an easy process once you know where that little hole is, and you get something tiny enough but yet strong enough to give it a push and pop up that little grill there. One of the important things on any laptop to talk about is how well it's cooled. This particular model definitely does a good job at that. It pushes a lot of heat. As you can see, it does have 2 actual vents for cooling, which are supported by 2 fans, of course, behind there. Each of those fans separate your CPU and your GPU. And have separate heat sinks and everything for them. So they're not combined by one or controlled or cooled by one single fan. You do have 2 pumping out a lot of heat out of this side here, because that's where our GPU is. CPU's not working so hard right now as we're just running a GPU benchmark. But average temps here on this benchmark have been in kind of the mid to upper 60s. We've been only running it for maybe about a half an hour. The temperature in our room here is also a little warmer too, which some of you might find that you like to hear that news. Is I'm probably sitting at about 76 degrees Fahrenheit right now, which is quite a bit warmer than I would probably prefer. But the laptop in general, it idles at about 38 to 39. Of course, it's going to down clock the GPU. It does clock it down to around the 50 megahertz range to undervolt it, so that you're using less power, saving on battery life, and also cooling. Alright, next thing we're going to go over here is the input-output ports on this here. I know it's really similar to the 8150, but it might even be identical. But since you don't have to watch 2 reviews, in case you're not interested in the 8150, I will go over it on here as well. We have a nice port here. We've got a combo USB eSATA port, which is nice in 2 regards. You get an unstandard amount of USB ports, and eSATA, which kind of has made its way off of computers the last couple of model refreshes, but hopefully people are just barking loud enough that manufacturers are realizing that it's still a used format and needs to be on computers. We've got our video section here. We've got HDMI, of course, to carry our audio and video. DVI, same digital signal, but carrying our video. We've got, of course, power here on the back. Make our way to the left-hand side of the laptop. This cable TV jack does not, it's not an option in the US. Sager at least does not offer any internal TV tuner support. So that's just going to stay with a little rubber thing on it. You've got Ethernet there. We've got 2 USB 3.0s, which is nice. 2 of those ports now instead of the standard one from last couple of revisions. We've got another USB 2.0, and that hitting here another nice. So we got IEEE there, FireWire port, which some think and say is a kind of a dying format to connect to your computer, but there's still plenty of people that ask for it. So these machines brought it back, which is really nice. We got a 3-in-1 card reader there. We make our way to the front. We don't really have any ports or anything here on the front. We do have right here, it's just covered up by a little plastic cover, but we do have the infrared there, and then just our battery indicator and our power indicator. As we make our way to the right hand side here, this here is going to be just, of course, your optical drive. We keep making our way over here. We'll sneak down so you can see the cool red light. But we've got a headphone jack and mic jack there starting on the left. The next one over, with you see the red light coming out of, that's basically a mini Toslink SPDIF port. It's made to output digital audio. It's going to require you, of course, to purchase a specialized cable that's not sold in your local Best Buy. Back up here, there we go. And the next port there is going to be just a standard line out jack. So those of you with the needs for that, fulfill that for you as well. And then of course just another USB 2.0 standard Kensington lock. Next thing we'll go ahead and go over here are the indicator lights, so that you get an idea what they are here. At the top there, we've got all of our locks here on the left hand side. Apparently we've got our number lock there, caps lock, and scroll lock. And of course you probably all can figure out this is the power button. We swing over to the right here, and then we've got our hard drive indicator, and then below that Wi-Fi, and below that Bluetooth. So you can see here, we just finished a stock run of Vantage non-overclocks. We got a P8861, so seems this little guy is doing pretty good. Here are our temps over probably been about 40 minutes now, 45 minutes. Minimum temperature, of course, is 38. We've got the value right now. We just finished the run. It's already down to 43 idle, and then our max temp during that run was 65. So as you can see, really good temps. CPU is a little bit hotter, as you can tell there. The fan wasn't working quite as hard, but obviously still quite stable and normal temperatures are what you would expect for this laptop. The next thing I want to go over here is the screen. The particular screen on this model, this one happens to be AUO, the 11ED. We're using the LGs. We may pick up AUOs, but to be honest with you, they both look really, really good. As you can see, as we make our way to the front, it does brighten just a little bit as we get off axis, but really, like any matte finish screen, since there's no glare, we really don't lose the picture at all as we get to the side. I mean, we can still tell what the words are here from nearly directly on the side of this laptop. As you go to the front, I would say at about 35 degrees we start getting a little bit brighter, but we will only lose probably maybe 10%, 15% brightness. We get all the way to the side, we might lose maybe 30% brightness. But overall, our side-to-side viewing is just really good. Our vertical viewing angles, this is going to wash out quite a bit more on us than the other one did. I can still look down on it pretty much from, directly down on top of it, still read and see everything. Not that we really ever need to do that, but the top angle there is not, of course, quite as good as our bottom angle is here. Yeah, we lose a little bit of brightness, but really not much. It still looks very good and very readable at that angle there. So the screen on this is just top notch. Sager did a very good job at choosing the screens for these. The screen manufacturer If you like the 8150 but yet like this matte finish screen, which to be honest I actually like better than the glossy finish screen that's on there, for not an incredible amount of money, you can have the matte finish screen, and it really is a very, very fine screen. The next thing we're going to have a look at here is the guts of this unit. It's very easy to access and to get inside of. Really, this top plate here only took 4 screws, just like the 8150. 2 screws to access here. This is where the battery goes. You just unlock this side, press the side over, slide it down. Once you have the 4 screws out of this, this just slides up. It's really, really easy. As you can see here, we've got a couple of really good-sized fans, just so you can get an idea of how big that fan is. This is the subwoofer here, low-frequency driver, if you will. Good sized fan, really good looking heat sinks here, a nice heat sink on the GPU, which is going to be here. 2 of our RAM slots, like I said before, the other 2 are underneath the keyboard, which, by the way, if I can quite show you, I'm not sure if we can really get at the hole, but you can see a place in here where the, see if I can grab this here, where we don't have enough light, do we? Where your motherboard stops past the GPU, this is our GPU, down in here, where you've got the fan housing here and the motherboard. There's a place in between that. This is not small enough to get in between there. You need something smaller than a micro screwdriver. But that is where you press in. Once you have all this done, you kind of leave the screen open a little bit, press that in, and that'll pop up that front grill. That'll let you remove that keyboard. And we'll make our way here. This is our CPU bay and fan and everything here. As you can see, on neither the GPU or CPU is there any sticker over any of the screws that says "break me" and "your warranty is void" or anything like that. So obviously, Sager's not going to gripe too much if you change the GPU or CPU later on down the road. Any original parts that are still under warranty will still be under warranty. It does not, unlike MSI or Asus, will you get any grief about that. But here was our look. Of course, we've got our hard drive bay here. To remove our optical drive, which is over here, we've got just a single screw right here. And that, unscrew that, just push forward a little bit, you'll be able to slide the rest of it out. And it has its own housing and faceplate, of course, you have to pull up if you want to swap them. But other than that, that is the underside or the belly of this little beast. Someone's been asking me to see the battery on this guy, so I just wanted to show you here. We've got battery at 76.96 watt per hour, 5200 milliamp battery. We'll just go ahead and slide that battery back inside the machine and just kind of show you. It's one of the things about its power here. This particular model just uses a standard 150 watt AC adapter. This one's a light-on. Sometimes they're lead-ins. They also, the 8150 uses a 180 watt. Some people have asked whether or not you can get the 180 watt just to overclock the heck out of this one. I probably don't recommend it. Sager doesn't really recommend it. Probably could be done, but I'm not certain you'd really see much of a power, much that boosting your power of the of the GPU. It's just me. If someone tries it and it's just awesome, let us know. A lot of people that ask for this just want to see the Windows score here, so I'm just going to sneak up upon there. Of course, our lowest one is our primary disk drive, since we're still using or in this one we chose to use a mechanical hard drive. So yes, 5.9 will be our max score, but as you can see, the CPU scoring 7.4, memory 7.6, and the graphics there at a 7.1 each for both Aero and gaming. Yeah, so that's for us to go over the BIOS here, so we're just going to let you have a look at that here. This is our main page of the BIOS. On the main page it does show each of the SATA ports and what's installed in there. As you can see, there's just a standard Hitachi 7200 RPM drive installed in there, and we've got just a standard CD/DVD drive and nothing in our SATA 3 port. Shows you our extended memory that's installed there, motherboard version, the BIOS revision, of course the VGA card, what is in there, and then the BIOS revision. As we head over to advanced chipset control, just gives us Bluetooth power settings. Our SATA mode, we can switch between IDE and HDI. No RAID on this, of course, it's just a single hard drive. Legacy USB support, whether or not you want the Sega boot logo, whether or not you want to beep when it powers on, low battery alarm. Keep going over, just set our supervisor password there. Here's our boot. We can just change the boot order throughout the different things. Gigabit Ethernet and controller. But that's just, you want to change around, install something, that way it chooses to install from the optical drive first. And then last there, we just got exit. So we're going to get out of there. Pop back into Windows. Well, folks, that wraps it up for our XOTIC PCs review on the Sega NP8130. Overall, thoughts are for the price, it's an extremely nice computer. It has a Sandy bridge and the GTX 460M, so it's an adequate performer and gaming machine. It does have quite a bit of options as far as its different CPUs are concerned, and overall, it's a good-looking laptop. Has a great screen. Nice finish, and should be a really good performer and a popular model for someone just looking for kind of an all-around good bang for the buck computer. If you have any questions, both our sales and our techs are available. Go to our website, www.exoticpc.com. You'll get all of our contact information from there. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the YouTube channel there, and anything that you'd like to see in future reviews, and we'll make sure to include it. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.